Morning. Okay. Yeah. So let me share my screen first. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? You can see, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So so we will just give me a minute. Download. Okay. So coming to the course content, so we will discuss today about course content. So what are we going to cover in our complete course? Okay. So I think I have shared this document. So this is the complete course content which we do have. So I'll be covering most of the topics. So first coming to the course content. So this is nothing but introduction to ERP. So here ERP is nothing but enterprise resource planning. So which is in it's nothing but it's a so wherever we do have so let's just say so not only SAP does have is the ERP tool. So we do have Oracle also and and we do have Tally which is also an ERP tool. So this is nothing but so here SAP. So we can see if anyone asks what it is, what kind of tool it is, then we need to mention that it is an ERP, enterprise resource planning. Yep. Okay. And coming to the packages, how do you know? So we will discuss about this. What is the packages? Nothing but so let's just say your company doesn't have any planning. So you just procure raw material, you you know you produce the finished product. That's it. There is no planning or MRP. So and then there is no need of PP. Okay. So if you say that you are a retail customer, which you are which is using a SAP. So then there is no planning required there. So only procurement, sales, and finance is controlling is required. That's it. No other modules are that might mandatory. So you know Walmart, right? Hello, anyone? Hello.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. So I just no. So I expect proactive response. So not that so I've been going on keep on saying everything and you guys are not responding. So the first things to overcome any fear or any discussion, if you want to speak if you want to have a discussion with the client or any user, so first thing we need to do is that we need to proactive, we need to be responsive, in that we need to be active. So wherever you go, not only related to SAP or ADIT field, in order to overcome every fear, or if you do have somewhat doubts, also fear, any fear, no, you need to first be active, proactive. You need to understand. So take some time. So if I ask a question or if someone asks a question, take some time, memorize or process that question, and respond to that accordingly. So don't be in a hurry or don't be too late, or avoid these two things. Just think of it, process the question, or process what the other person is requesting, or is having any query about, then answer to that accordingly. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Hmm. So the same way, so like if I mention, so I'm not going to show you complete SAP today, because I want to you know provide you a go through session related to SAP. Yeah. So I'll show you exactly what I'm going to show. Yeah. So if you say that Walmart, so it's a retailer company, right? They buy products from online sellers, or some manufacturers, and they do sell it. So for them, there is no planning required, right? Not that much level, right? Okay. So what they do? So they procure the materials, they keep them, they they will increase the charges based on, let's say um, any home appliances. So if it is 100 USD, which they have procured, right cost is 10, they will increase in another 10, including let's just say 30 is your tax. So what they will do? So let's just say this is the profit. What they will do? They will increase another 5, let's just say, based on their demand. So what it will be? So 155. If we have this product on high demand, yes, obviously the prices might increase. So let's just say coming to the ERP packages. So what they don't have any planning, because they simply procure the materials from the director suppliers itself, and they sell it to the customers. There is nothing required in planning part, in the planning perspective. So what they will do? So they will so SAP will also if you are an ECC, so if your client is an ECC, so that doesn't mean that you need to have all the modules. Only so the base modules are the respective modules where your business operates. So up to that, until that areas they will request for they will take the license. Okay, so they will take the license for that. Let's just say so they will take license for obviously SD, because they're selling, right? Finance, controlling, HR to maintain the employee data. Okay, success factors, nothing not required at all. So coming to ECC nothing but the definition of this is nothing but enterprise core component. Okay, this is an R3 structure. R3 structure. So all that I will cover later. So what is meant by R3, what is meant by R4, R2, all that I will cover. So we should not bother about this R3. So, but if anyone asks about any question, if you got selected and if you say that I have worked on ECC, then they will ask what is the version, what's the version of that. Okay. Your version might be ECC 6, but if you're working on SAP so in that ECC 6, you will have a version of SAP Logistics. Okay, SD, so these all cover under this SAP Logistics component. So this will have, if it is an ECC, it will have a so the version will be 618, okay, 614, 613, 612, okay. So so you need to say that what if anyone asks what's the version that you have worked, you need to say that at ECC, and if they specifically ask about your SAP or logistics component version, then you need to mention this. Okay, so why does this why does this differ? But if you go for S4 HANA, if you go for S4 HANA, we are not talking about here, but yes, in SAP so there is no much difference in S4 HANA or ECC. We are not talking about that part of difference. What are the major changes that we do have? So we are simply talking about how do we check? So in S4 HANA we do have the complete version as a 103 or 105. Okay, this is related to our logistics, sir, and they do have the complete SAP like EC66. If anyone asks, they will say that we worked on 1709, 1809, 1909, 2020. Okay, so this is the complete version. So if anyone asks, they need to mention this. And if they particularly ask about your logistics version, then you need to mention this 103, 104. Okay, so this is how we need to mention. So nothing but if any clients wants to implement SAP in their business, instead of if they want to switch from any other third party, let's say, because uh, Oracle, Tally, we do have Tally is not that much big deal, but Oracle is apart from SAP, we do have this Oracle as one of the biggest clients which supports this ERP solutions and the implementations part. So if anyone asks apart from SAP, what is it? Yes, you need to mention that yes, Oracle is also one of the. But coming to why companies prefer SAP is nothing but screen to screen difference is very much huge. In Oracle, everything is complex. Writing logic related to programs, uh, processing the screens or executing the screens, it's very much difficult in Oracle when compared to SAP. SAP is like user interface. Let's just you can consider that as an Android or iOS. You do get all the feasibility, and the user interface is very much positive, and you can access easily any kind of transaction. Okay, so coming to our planning, so this which we are talking. So if a company is not only retailer, so they might not need all components or all modules. So then they will opt only for certain packages or certain modules only. So based on that, SAP will charge, and based on that, SAP will provide that. Yes, we'll be supporting uh, for you until for the next 10 years based on your license. Okay. So this is what about what we are talking about. Next, coming to functions and objectives of MM. So what exactly MM helps? How exactly SAP MM helps in the area of purchasing or procuring materials or storing the inventory or raising an invoice vendor. How does this SAP? Why any company wants to switch to from their existing software or platform or tool to SAP? So this we will talk about. What are the functionalities? If you talk about functionalities and objectives, yes, functions. So in in any other tool, the data maintenance part is huge. But coming to SAP, yes, if you think that it is complex, it will be a complex. But if you think logically, then you will understand the feasibility, and you will understand the what do you say, maja anta, right? Maja bolte, right? So you'll understand that. Coming to real time project team structure. So if anyone say, let's just say, you have mentioned your resume stating that I have worked in a support project. Okay. If someone asks about you stating that if you mention resume, and if the interviewer asks, what how many how, what is a team count? So then you need to mention just only related to your count, and you can roughly explain. And based on the scalability, or based on the client which you have mentioned. Let's just see you have mentioned as Tata Steels. Okay, obviously it's a huge client, so definitely there will be at least 8 to 20 based on this 8 to 20 if it is an implementation project, or based on the scalability and the complexity of the project. Because if it is a standard, so there are two things here: standard, complete standard. If they are using only standard SAP, then there is no required of complexity. Yeah, and then there is no required of complexity. And if it is fully customized or fully customized as per client requirement, nothing but so even SAP provides you standard uh, license, but yes, we do have the feasibility to make our own programs, copy existing programs, logic, functionalities, everything. So if it is fully customized, then obviously yes, we do not more support. Suppose if anyone asks for a medium client, let's just say, then you need to mention that at least 4 persons, we do have 4 team members. Obviously, one person will be a lead who will be at senior consultant level or manager. Okay. Okay. If anyone asks you, if you are working, what is the team count, then you need to mention that yes, we do have team members in SAP, MM or WM. If you want to restrict only to SAP MM, yes, you can mention that yes, we do have a other team for WM or EWM. If you want to say that, yes. So only at senior consultant or management level, and at least two will be there. Two or one person will be there at consultant and associate consultant, and 1%, one person at entry level. You can call them as YP or in professional or senior analyst or analyst. That's how you need to say. So if it is a huge client, also suppose if someone asks about support. So coming to support, yes, if they ask you are only supporting incidents, you need to say that no. In addition to the incident resolution and daily normal change requests, stating that service request of creation of modifying of purchasing groups, plant address, then release profile creation, etc, etc. So in addition to that, you can mention that yes, we do have change request process where where do we extract new business process. If client raises a CR, nothing but CR. What is meant by CR? Change request. So it can be both functional and technical, or only pure technical, or only functional. That means either it can be involved at customizing SPRO, or it requires both SPRO changes and code level changes, or only code level changes, or okay. So this depends. So if anyone asks about support project, if you can say that, yeah, I'm working in support project, but we do support on CR parts on based on the new requirements and uh, existing enhancement logic or resolving bugs. You can mention this, sir. So these terminologies will help you a lot. CR, change request. Bug fix means already fixing a bug which is existing in the production system. That might be at code level, functionality level, or at any level. So this can be either functionality level or code level or both. So this is nothing but resolving a bug which is already existing in PIO and all the systems. So let's just say you got an incident assigned to your team, okay, and client says that this is not working as per our existing design logic. Then you will analyze along with the technical team, right? Then you will find out, yes, there is a code logic which is not exactly working as per the expectations. So then what will you do? See, if client says, this depends upon the contract which is signed along with your organization, with the organization and the client. So this is basically, at the time of contract sign off, between the client and the vendor. Vendor means we are the vendor because we are providing the support, or we are offering the support to the customer or client. Client means the organization to which we are supporting SAP consultancy. Okay. Change CR means change request. Any new modifications, any new requirements, or for example, let me show you. Let me tell you simpler. I will say yes. You know what is meant by purchase order. Yes, there is some transaction in SAP. So now client wants that, no, I don't want any standard transaction. I want G transaction that has to be created, and I want to use that. Let's just say if he says that, I want to use ZZME21 because I do want to add an existing functionality, then this will be a CR. Then this will be a CR stating that, yes, we will copy the standard program of ME21N. We will make a new transaction code and we will assign that new program, and we will include additional logic based on the same. Suppose, in PO, we don't have any material master data that get reflected apart from material master basic unit of measure. That's it, right? In material data, right? Apart from that, if customer or client wants that, against this material in the PO, I want the MRP type also that has to be fetched. Okay, MRP type or controller, or even okay, or if they want to include, let's just say, supplier master, nothing but supplier additional data, such as tax classification, or his customer, if there is a customer field that has to be populated. So that can be achieved in direct SAP PO screen, because it is used for several processes. So this ME21 X screen is used for several processes. Then what will we do? We will create a G program. We will create a G program of copying the standard program behind this ME21, and we'll make a paste of that, and we'll create a new transaction code, and we'll assign that. So this process will be a CR, because it's an additional requirement. So if anyone asks, in support projects, whether you're handling new change requests or processes, yes, if you say so, yes, it can be. Yes, currently I'm working on a support project which is not completely supported at all, because I do work on incidents, I do work on change requests, I do work on bug fixes, and I I ask my team to work on service request. Nothing but service request is nothing but a standard request of modifying, creating, or deletion of purchasing group, or it can be of creation or deletion of material groups. So these are all standard. So this part we will call them as, the process call them as, service request. They will not be considered as incidents. Huh?
Sunny, one doubt here.
Yes.
Uh, there is a doubt regarding that. You said no, we have to improvise there
Mhm.
to write a new code or something to change
Yes.
request regarding that
Mhm.
change request.
Mhm.
Uh, while working, we have to use this
No,
standard SAP application or we have to improvise it.
improvising in the sense, nothing but, see. If you say that in standard SAP, so you will only have certain restrictions stating that in MA21 you can only add certain fields which are already predefined by SAP, which are already provided by SAP. Suppose if you want to add new fields, for that you need to add a new logic, right? Nothing but the code, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you need to include in the new fields what are the fields that you want to pull up from this. So for that you can't directly pull the existing fields in the metal master. You will create a dummy field or some buffer fields where you call that data or field data from the metal master, and you will pull that into these G fields through this logic, and you will assign this in the field reference or the structure of this, or the screen layout of this new PO screen.
Okay.
Okay, so this will be a change process. So this is not in nothing but it's not an improvisation. We can say that it's a new requirement. Nothing but we are not going to use ME21, because if you use ME21, let's just say if they want to use this process only for NB document, which is standard. And what about UB? What about FO? Okay,
Okay.
so they will also get disturbed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these document types also get disturbed because you are only changing the screen layout at ME21. So this might affect. So for that purpose, what we will do, we will create a new transaction code. We will assign, we will create, so we will use the same functionality of this ME21N, and we will restrict only that the code logic should be worked for only NB document type. Okay.
Okay.
And we will use the additional logic, code logic of and calling of screens, program, and execution of the extraction of the data. So this will be a CR. So if anyone asks whether you have worked on support project, and if you had any CRs, yes, you can definitely say that yes, there is a CR. So if you want to just say yes, we can say that yes, we do work on
MM
CRs.
consultant will be involved in this development of code.
Yeah, yes, not code, exactly. So, see, coming to code, technical consultant will never, they will never directly involve in, they will involve in the code logic only. But we need to provide inputs, right? So, if they ask, okay, now we had a new CR, so what we are going to do? So then he will ask, on the business gathering requirement session. So what will we do? We will include the responsible technical consultant who has been assigned for this process or task, and you will schedule a call with the client or the business user who raised this incident or CR request, and you will check with them stating that yes, now so this is as per the standard process, and this is as per the your requirement. So what additional fields you want to pull, or what additional fields you want to add to this new G screen? Okay.
Basically, in this task, we will be coordinating with the client and business user. No?
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because if they have raised, that means they did have that requirement, right?
Yeah,
And only if we go through the requirement, or if we are involved in the session, that doesn't make any sense. We need to involve the responsible technical consultant also, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
what happens if you don't involve any technical consultant, and if you involve yourself only, so then it will be additional effort, stating that you need to go, you will be checking with the business user, and again you will come back to the technical consultant. You need to explain him one more time, stating that this is what user has said, these are the fields that we need to include. So this
yeah,
will be additional effort, right? So better you think, in productivity perspective, nothing but to minimize your effort.
yeah. Instead
Okay.
of doing the work twice and
Multi-
thrice,
yeah, yes, multiple efforts. You
yeah,
need to improvise, you need to you need to show your productivity, stating that instead of wasting your time, so let's say it will take more time if you involve directly the technical consultant. Yes. And even if even if business user is not confirmed, then what you will do, you will check with the functional line, because every client will have their respective module wise lines, who which can all be as level 3. We are level 2. So if we talk about uh, the levels, L1 will be business user or business user, L2 will be you consultant, and L3 will be functional lines, which you can call, or from the IT side team, IT team of that client, whether they can be much, whether they can have much more experience than us, because they will be guiding us, or they will be leading, or they will be monitoring. So that can happen. Or even level 3 be called as functional lines. So what they will do, they will coordinate with the business users of the client. Even they might have knowledge on that, fully aware of that knowledge, or even if they don't have that knowledge capability, as we do have, but still they can be called, because they do have, they will take the decisions whether this has SCR has to be gone, or whether CR has to be deployed or not. So this based on this, because client will not simply agree stating that, yes, you can proceed on, do whatever you want to do. No, that will not be the process, right? That will not be the scenario. First we need to take uh, certain level of approvals. So then from client side, yes, there will be IT team or functional line team. So who coordinates with the management of that client. So whenever there is a CR, yes, they will work on this along with us. So their part comes under approval process, and they will check on, what is the exact development, or what's the effort, how much effort you are putting. Because if the contract has been signed, that, apart from incident, if there is a CR or CR change request, nothing but a new process functionality design. So for these 5 man days, let's just say they will so if your organization is charging, let's just say 20,000 USDs, so then there should be justification, right? Because these guys need to approve that. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how, so if anyone asks about support project, then you need to say that, yes, our team consists of 4 members, at least four, even if it is a middle, even if the client is not a big MNC also. But yes, so this lead might have knowledge on or and WM. So if it is ECC, and if they are not using EWM, so this lead might have a experience on WM and as well. And one consultant will have intermediate exposure to WM, but good experience in Another consultant or associate consultant might have pure exposure to So then this completes and team, right? So they will not go for another candidate, to fill this, and because it will be a burden to the organization as well. You need to think in that way. So whenever an interviewer asks, a question stating that, just think of that, then answer accordingly. Don't be in a hurry, or don't be too late. That's it. This is about support project. Huh? Okay. So if anyone asks about support project, you need to mention, because so for support project, you do have SLAs for incidents or service requests. They might or they might not have, but for incidents and uh, problem tickets, you need to mention these terminologies: incidents, SLA. So there is two parameters, no, two kinds of SLAs: acknowledgement and resolution. What is meant by acknowledgement? The moment incident is created, it will be in unspecific, nothing but it will not be assigned to any specific team. So you'll be monitoring each and every day, or your lead or your YP will be monitoring, right? So the moment from the incident that got the moment at the time of, at the time when the incident got created, to certain level. So there will be time factor stating that, if it is high or medium or low or critical, based on the same, you will have this acknowledgement SLA varying. So let's just say if it is lower, at least you will have 1 hour, 1 or 2 hours to assign it to yourself, to assign it to the respective team. So if you miss that, if you assign this incident to your, let's just say after 3 days or even 1 day, then SLA acknowledgement SLA will get breached. So these terms and conditions will be based on the contract which has been signed between your organization and the client. So we should not ever, so even if it is low or medium, high, critical, so the moment it arrives in that specific bin, you need to monitor, stating that whether the incident has been come or not. Then you need to assign it to yourself. Then this can be avoided, and this can be in green, stating that, yes, we do have the acknowledgement SLA good, pretty much good. Coming to or sometimes what happens is that client will not be creating an incident. Our organization might have a team called L1.5. So what they will do, whenever there is a, so there might be integration between the client's network and our network. So what they will do, they will raise the request in the sub portal, or some link or some URL or some app. So from that, the information gets transferred to your L1.5 team. So what is my L1.5? they'll be called as help desk. They can be called as help desk or uh, help desk team. So what they will do, they will gather the information from the client, they will create an incident, and they will, so if they have the previous monitoring experience, or if they know that yes, this kind of incident has to be gone to this team, they can directly assign it. So this team is called as L1.5 help desk. Okay. So coming to resolution, so based on your priority, low, medium, high, critical. Critical means it is impacting your business process. Without this, you can't resolve this issue. So then, so for critical, it will be obviously 1 to 2 hours max, including your acknowledgement and resolution. High, yes, it might have 4 to 8 hours. Medium, yes, you can have 2 to 3 days. Low, at least you can have 10 days. That varies. That's what I'm saying. Based on your organization which you are joining, so these SLAs and these parameters might change, but the process is same. Okay. Any queries? Hmm?
Can we say our company has developed for ourselves?
Yeah, then you'll not be called as a consultant. You will be called as an in-house consultant. In-house consultant, yes. That's a good question. Yes, you'll be called as in-house consultant. Nothing but you are working for on your own organization. Let's just say TVS, okay, Tata Motors, okay, yes, TVS. So they might have their manufacturing, separate, area. But coming to IT, in order to handle this complete business process, they might have a new team. So this can be either in two ways. Whether they can offer service from another party, let's just say Cognizant, Tata, or anywhere, or
SAP
Infosys.
SAP consultant will be grouped into IT only.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
he will not be called as
No. What
yes.
my doubt is that um, whether they are work with procurement team or they will be separate with the IT team. That's what my doubt.
No, see, they will be called as IT team only, because procurement. So so coming to procurement or business. So business, what business do? So they will assign some users who might have exposure, little bit of exposure to SAP, because but they don't have the complete overview. Huh? They will not have the complete knowledge on SAP. They might have a knowledge only certain transactions, because let's say for PO creation only certain users will be given access or restriction. But whereas you working as an IT consultant, you might get all the access, coming from the checking the master data, changing the master data, executing the programs, executing the correction programs, then function modules. Even if you're a functional or technical, that doesn't matter. Yes, then you will have an execution of change access also, creation access also. Apart from display, you might get all this, but whereas, and you do have knowledge in all the areas, but coming to the users of business, they might have an exposure to certain area where they have worked on.
But this data, all the
So,
data regarding vendor data, master data, or material data, will be getting from procurement team only, no?
that depends. So that's what I'm saying. If it is a huge client, na,
Yeah,
they do have this MDM or MDG. That's what I said in the previous session, right?
yeah.
MDG, MDM. So master data management or master data governance team. So then the issue will be transferred. If it is purely related to master data, then we will assign to the respective team. And if we don't have any, this master data team can be your organization, a part of your organization, or it can be clients. It
Okay,
can be either. So it doesn't matter.
okay.
If it, so you need to check on the scope of support as well. When you get a new project, whether it is support, whether if it is a support, then you need to ask what are the areas which we cover in SAP MM, because
Okay,
for certain yeah, yes,
basically consultant will be doing majorly configuration things, right?
configuration, production issues resolution,
Yeah, that.
and service request, yes, and offering support, because user might not have experience at all in order to execute some kind of transactions, or if he's stuck in somewhere, if
Yeah,
he's getting any standard error, we need to analyze it, we need to provide the solution. If it is a solution that can be executable directly by changing any data at master data level, yes, it can be done. Or
Be
if
helping
it,
the end user.
yes, that's what it will, because their process, their business has to go on continuing, right? Because they are
Yeah,
using SAP, right?
yeah,
So this is how this. So that's a good question that you have asked. In-house consultant. What is in-house consultant? Yes, in-house consultant is nothing but you are working for your own organization.
yeah,
That's it. And so I took this much more time, yes. But SAP navigation. So while we are connecting in the few session later sessions, we from next session onwards, yes, we will. So enterprise structure, company codes. This all I will cover. Coming to master data. So what are the master data? Like I've mentioned. So like I've mentioned in the first session, remember, right? We do have three types of data: configurational data, master data. Then upon those two, your transactional data will run. So what is the significance of that? Okay. So this master data is also this criteria you can call as priority as two, because first, in order to create a master data, also some you need to configure, sometimes you need to do the customization in SPRO settings. So for that reason I'm calling is the configurational data is must. Even if it is a support project, some might have developed, right? Some organization might have implemented it, right? So upon that, your master data and transaction data are working. So that which is already implemented, nothing but if there is no configuration data, you can't achieve the master data and transactional data. So that's the reason I'm calling this. I'm stressing this also. If anyone asks, what is the significance of this master data on transactional data, then you need to mention that yes, no, yes, there is an impact. There is an yes significant impact on that. But prior to that, we need to also think. We need to also understand that without configuration data, neither master data nor transactional data can be executed successfully. Okay. So what kind of master data? We do have material master, vendor master, purchase info record, which is also called as master data, source determination, source list, quota arrangement, and also condition records. Condition records also called as master data only. Condition records that they might be related to prices, output, yes, taxes, yes, they can be called as master data only. So without this, we can't achieve the data in the transactional at transactional level. Okay. Coming to purchasing, so what kind of documents we do have? What are the configuration that we need to do, or what is the area of configuration we need to check for purchase requisition? So RFQ, I will explain this, but it is not required. It is not being used anymore. RFQ client is not ever never using the, because most of the clients they do have this uh, planning, so they will not be going with for RFQ because it's an additional factor. So they don't want to create that much more data. So what they will do, they will directly create, if they have MRP, nothing but PP integration, so they will create directly purchase requisition or schedule lines in schedule agreement using planning MD04 or MD01N. There is no need of request for quotation because supplier has already been confirmed. So and they have already discussed the terms and negotiations. So then there is no need of RFQ. This can be avoided. So outline agreement is nothing but contract and schedule agreement. So both are called as outline agreements. What is meant by outline agreement? Outline agreement is in so it's nothing but it's consists of both. It is nothing but contracts and schedule agreements. But if anyone asks, have you worked on an outline agreement? Yes, you need to say that yes, I have worked on outline agreements, which is nothing but contracts and schedule agreements. Okay. And so for this purchase requisition, purchase order, outline agreements, contract, schedule agreements, we need to check the configuration level. That's what I'm saying. Define document types, number ranges, screen layout. Because if now in the first sheet I have mentioned that, right? So some standard SAP has provided some screens, nothing but some fields. You can maintain them as display or optional or mandatory. So how do you configure that? So that configuration part comes here, the screen layout. Okay. Next, coming to release procedure. Release procedure, yes. If you want to set, yes, you do have for purchase requisition two types of releases. Release procedure with classification and without classification. With classification, nothing but header. Without classification, nothing but item for purchase requisition. But for purchase order and outline agreements, contract schedule agreement, yes, we do have at with classification only, nothing but only at header level, not at item level, because these are external documents, right? So if anyone asks, do you have any external documents created in the system? Yes, you need to say that yes, in SAP we do have external documents. External documents are nothing but which are sent to the supplier. Purchase order we will be sending to supplier once we created the document in our SAP. Yes, because supplier has to know that what is the document number, right? Same goes with request for quotation, outline agreement, nothing but contracts and schedule agreements. Yes, so these are all called external documents, because once we create them, so we'll be sending them to the supplier stating that because this is a boss for this material for you, since you are the supplier, this is the uh, P1 number. Against this, you need to send you need to send you the delivery, because we need to send the creation, the created data in our system. But coming to purchase equation, no need. There is no need to send it to supplier, because it's an internal document. It is created to in order to that purchase organization is aware, or the planner is aware, or the purchasing group is aware of this requirement. So this is the reason it is called as internal document. Next, coming to pricing. So how do you maintain this pricing? So how the system determines the pricing procedure in a PO? How the system knows what are the conditions that has to be checked? Okay, how does the system knows? So what is meant by condition table, access sequence, condition type. Then comes your calculation schema, assignment of the schema group to assignment. So this is nothing but the pricing procedure, nothing but for creation after creation of PO or schedule agreement or contract, how the system triggers the prices. So we need to do this configuration. Okay, external service management. Yes, it's not a big topic. Yes, but it's also it's also need to be learned. Yes, which we will cover in our topic. We will discuss automatic PO with reference to PR. So that's what I'm saying. Optimized purchasing. Sometimes business has a requirement stating that no, we don't want to use ME21 anymore. We want to use we want to have the program which has to be executed in batch jobs. Batch jobs. Remember this term, batch jobs or background job. Remember this term, back job or background job. Background job is nothing but whenever there is a feasibility, if we can avoid manual intervention, nothing but MA21 is nothing but manual user is manually creating the transaction, right? Or executing the transaction, right? So some areas or some programs or some transaction can be avoided manually, and they can be created automatically. So either through SAP provider transaction or batch job. So or nothing but background job. So in background job, there is no need of manual intervention. So automatic creation of PO can be happen through either foreground or background. Background is we will take the program, we will schedule a batch job stating that every day this batch job has to be executed for all the suppliers or plants every day. So then there is no need to check at all. And even if you want to create the automation for this PR to PO, yes, there is certain transaction ME59N. You will not input any data. Just we will only maintain certain data. We will not even enter purchase requisition also. We will enter either supplier or company code or purchase organization. That's it. Or purchasing group. No need to go every time ME20 to ME21 N. There is no need. No need at all. So this is what this topic is. So automatic PO at GR, this is it's very much complex. But yes, if anyone asks, no, don't say that. Say that we are not using it all, because it is much complex and it requires function modules and which is purely technical. If anyone asks, yes, I have never worked on it, but yes, I'm willing to. Coming to inventory management, this one. Movement types, goods received, goods issued, transfer posting. So once you created the PO, once you do the MIGO, how do you manage the inventory? So this is nothing but related to inventory post. Coming to physical inventory, how to create the physical inventory, how to check the document, how to create the inventory physical count, how to find out the difference. This is related to the physical inventory SAP MM level. Physical inventory can happen at or WM level also. If your organization has WM, then you can check at both WM and also. Okay. Special procurement types. So this is must and important, because if you're mentioning, if you say that, if you're working for more, if you're having 4 years of experience, definitely everyone will ask about this consignment, stock transfer order, subcontracting, pipeline. It's not mandatory, but if you know the process, that's good. Returnable transport as packaging, it is bit much complicated, but I will explain the overview stating that, how to create a returnable package account, how do you check this. Yes, I will provide the transaction, or I will provide the documentation related to this. No need to worry. Third party processing, if you want to, yes. If it is not required, no need. Nothing but, you will procure a material from a supplier to another customer to provide it to another customer. That's a third party. You are not using for it yourself. That's a third party processing. Next comes account and valuation and account determination. This is related to finance, because if someone says that, I have created a PO, yeah, our business will create a PO, but how does this impact finance? How does the stock? How does that value of the stock has to be posted? This comes in this area: valuation and account determination, automatic account determination. If we say simply that, we do have material master data, vendor master data, no, but there has to be supporting configuration, right? Whenever you create a PO, whenever you do goods receipt, it has to hit some GLs, nothing but general ledger accounts, which in terms is related to finance. So this covers MMFI integration. Okay. Coming to invoice verification, you can check what's the difference between. So these are just an overview about this, how to check how to create invoice, how to check what is meant by unplanned delivery cost, what is the planned delivery cost, what is the credit memo, debit memo, how do you block the invoice, how to release the blocked invoice, subsequent debit or subsequent credit, automatic settlements. For consignment and pipeline, you don't use MIRO, which is for invoice. No, consignment and pipeline settlement process do have another process of creating or accounting documents. So that's another transaction. So that also I will cover. Okay, and how to park. So like I said, if your ECC is this is ECC, and there is an enhancement package EHP 6, it might be 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. So if anyone asks, what is about EHP 6 or 7? Yes, EHP 6 does have, tax India version. Then 7, enhancement of parking the documents. If you have created a document but you don't want to create the document number, what you will do? You can park it. Nothing but, what is the functionality of parking, right? So you are not. So let's just, if you are visiting mall, you will not be staying there forever. So what will you do? You will park your vehicle, so for some temporary purpose. So if you want to stay there completely, yes, you can completely park it. So nothing but that is a posting. If you don't want, you can cancel that. That's the parking concept. So parking of purchasing documents can be achieved through this enhancement. Nothing but, if anyone asks what is your SAP version, you need to say ECC 6, and if there is an enhancement package, you can say that it is EHP 6 or 7. Search it in Google. What is the functionality of EHP 6? What is the functionality of, what is the advantages? What is the advantage, or what is the functionality of EHP 7, 8, 10, 11, 13? You will understand what's the difference. Because certain functionalities can be achieved through this enhancement package. Okay. So integration topics, like I mentioned, integration of with FICO, account automatic integration with STO comes, so which is nothing but stock transfer order, intra-company or inter-company. Next, with PP, planning. So that's what I said. Next, so MRP concepts, I will mention, just I will explain you on which areas the integration comes, and in which areas we need to check at master data level. So that I will cover. So it's not mandatory that you need to learn PP also, but at least have some basic knowledge about this also. Okay. Any more queries?
No,
Hello.
no,
Yeah. Any queries or Sai?
No, sorry. No.
You can speak in Telugu if you are not comfortable in English. You can speak in Telugu. You can ask me in Telugu also. It's not an issue. I can speak
Okay,
in
okay,
Telugu, English, and Hindi. It's okay. I am fluent with any language.
okay,
అర్థమవుతుంది
okay,
నాకు తెలుగు తెలుగే.
okay,
మీకు
okay,
డౌట్స్ ఉంటే తెలుగులోనే అడగొచ్చు. ఫీల్ ఫ్రీ బికాస్
okay, okay,
ఇది రికార్డ్ అవుతుందని సెషన్ అని మీరు పట్టించుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. మీకు డౌట్స్ ఉందనుకో యూ కెన్ స్టాప్ ఎనీవేర్, యూ కెన్ ఆస్క్ ఎనీవేర్.
okay, okay,
ఎక్కడైనా అడగొచ్చు, ఏ డౌట్ ఉన్నా సరే. ఓకే,
okay.
కెన్ యూ స్టాప్ రికార్డింగ్? సో ఐ జస్ట్ వాంట్ టు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ యూ. సో జస్ట్ కెన్ యూ ప్లీజ్ స్టాప్ రికార్డింగ్? Because if this recording gets somewhere na can you please can someone stop recording? Okay, if you have any queries you can just call to my mobile number. I guess you have invited me to the group, right? Hello,
Join.
Pawan.
సని గారు,
మీకేమన్నా కన్సర్న్స్ ఉంటే యూ కెన్ పింగ్ మీ ఆన్ వాట్సాప్. ఓకే, ఏమన్నా అర్థం కాకపోయినా సింపుల్ అండి. ఇప్పుడు మన యాజ్ పర్ అగ్రీడ్ I will cover this SAP OU session along with the other thing also. But still, you need to understand. In case if you are working in an organization, so no one will come stating that, right? Stating that మేము మాకు వచ్చినా మేము చెప్పలేము, మేము బిజీగా ఉన్నామని చెప్తారు. Then how will you overcome this issue? You need to check, right? You need to analyze this issue. For that purpose, if we cover this basic overview session, then yes, even if an issue comes, then you will be able to see how we need to resolve. Okay, then you will think in that way. ఆ వేలో మీరు థింక్ చేయగలుగుతారు, చేస్తారు. ఓకే, మీకు డౌట్లు ఏమన్నా చెప్పండి, ఏమన్నా కన్సర్న్స్ ఉన్నా చెప్పండి. ఓకే,
ఏం లేదు. ఇప్పుడు నేను మా టీంలో, అంటే మాది ఎస్ఐపి టీం డిఫరెంట్ అవుతుంది. యాక్చువల్ బేసిక్ గా నేను ఇది ప్లానింగ్ లో వర్క్ చేసేవాడిని, పిఎంసి పిఎంఓగా. అంటే మాది ఐటీ టీం సెపరేట్ ఉంది, ఇప్పుడు ప్రొక్యూర్మెంట్ టీం సెపరేట్ ఉంది అనమాట.
ఉంటది, అదే చెప్తుంది. ప్రొక్యూర్మెంట్ టీం అంటే వాళ్ళు ఓన్లీ సప్లయర్లతో మాట్లాడుతూ ఇవన్నీ చేస్తారు. ఐటీ టీం అంటే వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారు, మీ దగ్గర ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ తీసుకుని అవి ఆ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ లో వేస్తారు, రైట్?
అదే ఇప్పుడు వెండర్ డేటా మొత్తము ఐటీ టీం వాళ్ళే చేస్తారా మామూలుగా? అంటే ఇప్పుడు వెండర్ లిస్ట్ ఉంటుంది కదా, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ స్టీల్ తీసుకోవాలనుకున్నారు అనుకోండి,
స్టీల్ తీసుకోవాలనుకున్నారు,
టాటా స్టీల్, సృజన స్టీల్, ఇలా సమ్ డిఫరెంట్ స్టీల్స్ ఉన్నాయి.
దానికి సపరేట్ గా టాటా స్టీల్ కి ఒక సప్లయర్ ని క్రియేట్ చేస్తారు, సుజనా స్టీల్ కి ఇంకో సప్లయర్ ని క్రియేట్ చేస్తారు, రైట్? హెచ్ఎండి స్టీల్ అని ఇంకో పేరు ఉంది అనుకో, దానికి ఇంకో సప్లయర్ నేమ్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తారు. ఎస్ఏపీలో స్టోర్ అవ్వాలి కదా.
అవును,
ఇప్పుడు సిస్టమ్ కి ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది? ఓకే,
ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే ఇది, అంటే మా వాళ్ళు, నేను చూసింది ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు ప్రొక్యూర్మెంట్ టీమ్ ఓన్లీ ఎండ్ యూజింగ్ చేస్తుంది అనమాట. అంటే ఓన్లీ పిఆర్ రైస్ చేయడము, ఇలా అదొకటే
అది
చేస్తుంది.
చిన్నదై ఉండొచ్చు, మేబీ యువర్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ ఇస్ స్మాల్.
అంటే ఓన్లీ ప్రొక్యూర్మెంట్ టీమ్ అది ఒకటి చేస్తుంది, మళ్ళీ ఐటీ టీమ్ డిఫరెంట్ గా ఉంటది అనమాట. ఇది
మేబీ చెప్తున్నాను కదా, బేస్డ్ ఫంక్షనాలిటీ అది. మీరు మీ కంపెనీ డిజైన్ అలా అయి ఉండొచ్చు, డెవలప్ అలా అయి ఉండొచ్చు మీ ఎప్పుడైనా స్టార్టింగ్ స్టేజ్ నుంచి. సో అదేలా కంటిన్యూ ఉండొచ్చు. మీరు ఎప్పుడైనా
నా డౌట్ ఏంటంటే మనము ఈ కంపెనీ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ పెట్టచ్చా అని, అదొక డౌట్.
రికార్డింగ్ లో ఉంది, మీరు ఎప్పుడన్నా కాల్ చేయండి మీకు ఫ్రీ టైమ్ లో ఉంటే.
ఓకే అండి, ఓకే.
డైరెక్ట్ గా అడగకుండా.
ఓకే,
ఓకే,
ఓకే.
ఏమన్నా పర్సనల్ క్వైరీస్ ఉన్నాయి అనుకో, యూ బెటర్ నాట్ ఆస్క్ దెమ్ డైరెక్ట్లీ, బికాస్ సి వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్ ఇఫ్ ఇట్ గెట్స్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్డ్. నాకు తెలుసు ఈ రికార్డింగ్ మీకు వరకు వెళ్తాయి అని. మీరు ఎవరన్నా మీ కొలీగ్స్, మీ బ్రదర్, మీ కజిన్, లేకపోతే మీరు రేపు మ్యారేజ్ అయిన తర్వాత మీ మిసెస్ వాళ్ళ తమ్ముడికి ఇవ్వాలనుకున్నారు అనుకోండి, రైట్? మరి తర్వాత పరిస్థితి ఇవన్నీ డిస్కషన్ చేస్తారు ఇక్కడ.
రికార్డింగ్ స్టాప్ అన్నారు కదా,
రికార్డింగ్ అవుతుందండి ఇంకా.
ఇంకా అవ్వలేదు అనుకున్నా, ఇందాక స్టాప్ అంటే
స్టాప్ చేయండి అన్నారు, నేను ఎవరు చేయలేదు, వెళ్ళిపోయినట్టున్నారు. సో ఏదన్నా కన్సర్న్స్ ఉంటే మీరు ఏం చెప్తారంటే, మీకు యూ కెన్ కాల్ మీ. మీకు వీకెండ్స్ లో ఎప్పుడైనా ఫ్రీగా ఉన్నారనుకోండి, విల్ డిస్కస్ ఇట్ దేర్. ఓకే, ఆర్ ఈవినింగ్ ఎప్పుడైనా ఖాళీ ఉన్నప్పుడు మీరు జస్ట్ మెసేజ్ పెట్టండి వాట్సాప్ లో, దెన్ ఐ విల్ కాల్ యూ బ్యాక్. ఓకే, మీకు ఏమన్నా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే డైరెక్ట్ గా అడిగండి. ఇదండి ఇది ఇష్యూ ఇలా ఉంది, ఎలా చేయొచ్చు అప్రోచ్. ఇప్పుడు ఇదంతా కవర్ చేయడానికి రీజన్ ఏంటంటే చేయొచ్చు, డైరెక్ట్ చేయొచ్చు. బట్ ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే మీకు అట్లీస్ట్ ఒక ఒక ఐడియా ఉంటుంది. ఓహో ఎసీప్ చూడంగానే ఒకేసారి జిగేల్ మనకుండా కళ్ళు, ఎస్ అట్లీస్ట్ యూ కెన్ సీ ఎస్, ఆహా ఓకే ఇది నేను చూసాను, ఓకే నాకు తెలుసు ఈ స్క్రీన్ లో ఏముంది, ఓకే అంత కాకపోయినా కొంచెం అట్లీస్ట్ యూ విల్ బి ఏబుల్ టు సీ వాట్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ ఈస్ నథింగ్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ ఇన్ దట్ స్క్రీన్, ఇన్ ఫ్రంట్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ స్క్రీన్. మరి ఎందుకు ఓకే
ఓకే, నో ప్రాబ్లం.
యా రైట్
ఓకే రైట్.
వెల్ యా బాయ్.
Okay, bye.